Hello, folks. This is my high school yearbook. Yeah, the design is pretty terrible, but I kind of want you to look through this high school yearbook right here. Tell me if you notice anything weird. There's one. Look at that. Look it up and down. Let me flip the page here. Let me put to the back. Let me flip the page here. Let me flip the page here. Let me flip the page here, and let me just flip the pages. Have you noticed anything about this yearbook by chance, folks? I'll give you 10 seconds. Do you notice anything interesting about that yearbook? Okay, if you don't know, there's only one signature in there. Only one signature, one message. Right there. Everything else is blank. No one else signed it. And so, the reason I tell you this is because I'm going to talk about my high school experience, because this is where it all began. This whole depressive stuff and kind of flipping this. When I think about it, this is how it all began. So I'm going to tell you about the high school experience. And also, I'm pretty happy because I found money in the yearbook too. I stored money in there. I found some, so I'm pretty happy about that. But anyway, the high school was not fun for me. And I know, the whole teenage angst stuff and stuff like that, but it really wasn't fun. And more not fun than any other. I mean, there's one signature. It's from a friend that I had back during about a year and a half of high school. Really good friend. I can at least say that. I know for a fact. I had trouble understanding it, but I know for a fact. She stood by me, listened to me, was there when I was depressed all the time. But then, senior year came, we drifted off, but he at least signed my yearbook. I had to be gracious to do that. Other than that, I had no friends. And here's what happened. Freshman year, when I went to freshman year, that's when depressive episode or massive really hit. I mean, it was terrible. I mean, oh God. And like I said, with depression, I don't socialize with anyone. I want to be alone. I stay away from things. Everything's monotone. I don't look people in the face. When someone talks to me, I stay like this. And almost the entirety of freshman year, I was horribly depressed. Like, not even joking. I wasn't suicidal, I didn't self-harm, but I just remember not wanting to do anything. And the thing about it was, I've always been someone who got things done. Like in my family, I'm annoying sometimes, but I've always been the guy who was pretty much independent, that no one really had to like my mother, no one had to get on my case about not doing something. I never really asked for help in any problems or anything. I was always pretty independent. And so, I still got stuff done. I still did good in school, but it just was really, really hard. I mean, I just remember feeling really numb, like just not feeling anything, numb and just wishing I was dead, and, having trouble even, spending my weekends alone, coming home right after school. And, normally when you're after school, you hang out with friends. I didn't have any, and I had that one friend, but I didn't have any, and really just that one friend who had other friends. And I just went back home, did my homework, stayed in my room, and I didn't do a whole lot. That freshman year was bad. I mean, it was really depressed, and my friend later told me that, he was worried that I would commit suicide during that. It was that bad. And so that was freshman year. Sophomore year, and then at the end of the year, I kind of started, feeling better, and just started getting a lot elevated. And so it was like, maybe it was seasonal. But then sophomore year came, and it was the same thing. Like, really, really depressed. Didn't want to do anything. Just horrible. But the difference was, I kind of felt like I was starting to come out of it. I felt like I was turning a corner, and I was talking to people a little more. I still felt like crap, but I was at least doing something, But then we moved. And we moved. And I spent about half my sophomore year and junior year at a high school in the burbs. And then it just went a nosedive right there, because when you're someone who's already dealing with a horrible depression, and sometimes I would get elevated moods for maybe a week, but then it would always crash again. And when you're dealing with that and just having to change the scenery, it really can devastate, because you're so familiar with one high school and other people that it changes everything. And so when that happened, I mean, it was just multiplied. I mean, I actually self-harmed like a couple of times, actually, when I did. And things got really bad, because I remember just feeling really numb and depressed. Things got really bad, too, because I went from having at least one friend to eating lunch with that one friend. Thank God I wasn't eating lunch alone. And then you go to that, and I wasn't eating lunch with anyone at all. I literally. And the good thing about my other school was that even if you couldn't eat lunch with someone, you could always go off campus to eat lunch. There's a lot of places that let you eat lunch outside. Just when you can't. And I gotta tell you, it sucked. When you're really depressed, you're feeling like crap. You wish you were dead. You don't want to be around. You just want to be alone and just feel like complete and total shit every day. Like you're worthless and guilty. And then, going to a new environment, not knowing anything and not having any friends, it just makes it so much worse. Just the change of scenery and not being familiar with things made it so much worse. And lunch was really not fun for me. I mean, if I wasn't hungry, I would try to avoid it at all costs. I would just go to the library and avoid it. And when I couldn't avoid it, I would go to a lunch table, and I would either find an empty lunch table and I eat alone. I would either kind of just discreetly cut into a random group, and I would do that and just not say anything. Or, which happened a good chunk of times, I would just sit in a corner and eat my lunch on the floor, like this. And that's what happened. I mean, it was it was not fun. It was bad. And if I was like the way I am now, I know that wouldn't have happened. I would be a lot more talkative. But when you're feeling like crap, it was that bad. And I remember it was a nasty incident where something at home happened, and it was just a nasty, ugly incident. Put it this way, I ended up pushing a window, and I ended up cutting my left hand really badly. But emotions were high with me, So that's what happened. And junior year was same thing. And then senior year, I actually moved back to Chicago, and I went back to my old high school. The only good thing about doing that was familiarity and the fact that you could eat lunch outside. Other than that, it still sucked. Don't get me wrong, I would have maybe brief spurts of just, a little elevated mood when I think about it. Like, I remember giving a presentation and just making it up as they went along with really high energy. And I remember, doing another presentation where I actually accidentally threw a penis, and I killed it, put it this way. But it was mostly depression, and that was the problem with bipolar disorder. For me, it's 75% depression, 25% hypomania. And senior year was about the same. I mean, by this time, my one friend already had other friends, and I understood that. And other than that, I didn't have any friends still. I still felt like such utter crap. And then, not only that, but I had a part-time job, and I just remember feeling completely empty and numb and, just hating myself and just feeling, absolutely worthless. And senior year, which like I said was the same. I didn't, and I eventually graduated, and I was glad I graduated, but that was my high school experience. Mired in misery, no friends, eating lunch alone a lot, embarrassingly. I never went to any of those. I never went to any of those parties that people talk about. I didn't go to prom. I didn't go to any dances. I never hung out with friends after school. I never did any of that. And that was my high school experience. And the really sad part about it was that I was never picked on, but I wished that I was picked on, because it would have meant that I actually mattered. But yeah, that was my high school experience. Now, there was a reason I'm telling this. There's a reason. And one thing I'm gonna say, please don't. This is not a pity video. Okay, I'm not trying to get pity or the comments like, oh, I'm so sorry. Please don't leave pitiful comments like that. I'm smiling. It's not a pitiful video. There's two reasons I said this. Two reasons I am sharing this right now. The first reason is for all the people that are in high school, all you young kids, young teenagers older teenagers that are in high school. This goes out to you. The first reason I told you this. This is the first reason in the message. Get help. If you kind of were experiencing that, like if you just don't know what's wrong, you just feel really empty and you feel like crap all the time, you don't want to do anything, you feel kind of guilty and just down, and you just wish you could just die, or if you had the same feelings that I had, talk to someone, talk to your parents, talk to your teachers, counselors, friends. If you're fortunate enough to have friends, I wasn't, except that first year, which really helped. But talk to anyone who has ears and try to get the help you need, because just do that. Because for me personally, when I was going through that, I didn't know what depression was. I didn't know what bipolar disorder was. I didn't know what any of it was. I didn't. I didn't know what the hell was wrong, and not only that, but I was so used to doing things to myself. And also, it was like, how am I supposed to tell other people and like my mom or teachers or anything that something's wrong? That something's wrong when I don't even know what's wrong. I don't know why I'm holding this. I guess I'm illustrating something, but that was the thing. I didn't know what the hell was wrong at the time. And for you youngsters that are going through that are having these feelings, you might be experiencing depression. It's a good chance you're experiencing depression, and that's why I say go get help. Talk to anyone who has ears. Because you guys deserve to be happy. You do. You're worth it. Trust me. It is worth it. You're worth it to be happy. You're worthy of it. And, remember, and the reason I'm telling you this is also, you deserve to enjoy your high school experience. Those are supposed to be your best years of your life. They were the worst years of my life. But don't let that happen to you. It was supposed to be your best years of your life. Get help so you can enjoy this. So you can enjoy being able to hang out with your friends all the time and not care. Because when you get older, it's going to be less and less. You're not going to have that many opportunities. And so that's why I say get help so you can get better and enjoy your high school experience and just enjoy these years. Because you're not going to get them back. So that's my first message. My second message, it goes out to everyone who experiences a mental illness. Yeah, anyone who experiences mental illness. The second reason, and this is the second reason I told the story. Depression, or probably bipolar disorder that I maybe probably had, that I probably most likely had. It took away the best year. It took away the joy out of high school. It took away 4 years that was supposed to be the best years of your life. It took away any enjoyment that I could have in my high school years. It took that away. And the reason I say this is because now when I look back on it, I use it as motivation. I use it as motivation. Whenever I'm feeling maybe a little down, because I know Thursday was a really rough day. It really was last Thursday, and when I'm feeling like that, I kind of just try to take a step back, and I tell myself, this illness, this bipolar disorder, depression, it took away bipolar disorder / depression. It took away those 4 years of my life. It took away me making friends, and going to dances, having fun, and I use that as motivation because I say to myself, you know what? No, this bipolar disorder, it took away enough. It has taken away enough from me. And now I use that as motivation because I say, you know what? Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm not going to let you take away anything else from me. I am not going to let you take away any more time, or it's going to take some time, but I'm not going to let you take away anything else from me. Maybe making friends, going out and jogging, enjoying a nice day, getting that nice sandwich that I want at the deli. I'm not going to let you take that away from me, and I'm not going to let you make me miss out on anything anymore. You know, I'm not going to make me miss out on C2E2, Anime Midwest, Con Alt Delete in December. I'm not going to let it make me miss anything anymore. It already made out a lot of things, and it's taken a lot of things away from me. And that's the second message. Whenever you guys are having a rough time, or maybe you're in recovery and you're having some sort of relapse or going a hard time, I want you to tell yourself this, and just tell yourself, and just remind yourself, it's taken away, and just think about it. What is it taking away from you? It's taken away, and odds are, if you have a mental illness, it has taken away a good chunk of things, or a chunk of things at least. I want you to remind yourself and tell yourself that, and remind yourself about that, and just say, you know what, and just try to think of it this way, you know what, it's taken away enough. I'm not going to let it take away anything else. And that's the second reason I told the story. So yeah, so it was two messages. That's the reason I told my high school experience. Because to help your high schoolers, if you're going through this, get help. And two, to tell the people with mental illness that, just to remind you guys that it's taken away enough. You know, it's took away my high school experience. It's taken away enough. And just remind yourself that don't let it take away anything else. And that's the message of this video. Thanks everyone for watching.